Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this year, I think I'm finally going to take the plunge and join the Three Rivers Homestead Every Bit Counts Challenge, where you try to preserve something every day throughout the month of August. And in doing so, it means I'm going to be a very busy mama. This is one of the gardens that you're viewing right now that I helped take care of for a couple weeks this summer. It was a friend of mine, her garden. And I just wanted to show you guys, this is such a beautiful garden. I loved all her flowers and everything, but my son and I, we got here and we started just kind of tearing things out, giving more space for the produce to grow. And we worked really hard in here this day. But I thought I'd like to show you guys this so you could see a little bit of what we were up to. And something else I did this last week is I had to finish getting all those blueberries put away. It took me forever this year to get those blueberries done. Normally, I get it done in just a couple days, but we still have all the kids in the house. I had a baby, and for some reason this year, it took me a week to get all these blueberries preserved. Actually, no, over a week to get all these blueberries preserved. And that is not normal for me. So I was really trying to push myself to get this done. And what I'm doing here is I am making blueberry pie filling. Now, we don't always use the blueberry pie filling for blueberry pies. One of the things, though, that my family really does like to do with the blueberry pie filling is we will take it and we'll put about 2 of these jars in a casserole dish, and then we will top it with a crumb layer. So we'll either make, instead of an apple crisp, it'll be a blueberry crisp or a blueberry cobbler. And that is how my children really enjoy this. And so I'm just going to get all my jars filled up with this lovely pie filling. It's really basic: water, sugar, cornstarch. You saw my little list there next to the stove that I showed you guys with all the ingredients. So I'm going to get all these jars filled up, and I will get these in the canner here shortly. And I think I ended up with a nice amount of jars. Not as much probably as what I would have liked to have had, but that's okay because I'm hoping to get some more fruit throughout the summer as more things become available so that we'll have a wide variety of things to choose from for this winter. And it's just something special that I like to have on hand with my kids. Like I said, a lot of this stuff in the grocery stores, it just doesn't taste very good or it's super expensive. And I don't like doing that, especially in the winter. So when I have these things on hand, we can still have those special treats, either for when we're ushering in the Sabbath and we'll have a special treat with our dessert, or we're celebrating feast days or birthdays or anything of the sort. We have get-togethers on the Sabbaths, and so sometimes we like to put together some treats for everyone that's joining us, for our Bible studies and our fellowship and our worship nights. And so it's just nice to have these things on hand. So when I'm trying to put something together for a large group of people, I'm not running to the grocery store spending $50, $60, $70 when I already have it in my basement, stored up and ready to go. And like I said, my kids love it. We all enjoy it. This is what the blueberry juice looked like. I never got that video up last week. I'm sorry. And then this is what that blueberry pie filling looked like. And all these will go down into the cellar. And I really try my hardest not to start digging into things until around December or January. The next thing I'm going to do is I am making some refrigerator pickles. So I had some dill and vinegar and water, a little bit of sugar and some salt brine put together. I got all my pickles already, or my cucumbers already sliced up. Going to get that brine in there, get the lids and the rings on. And for some reason, I felt like turning these jars upside down. I don't know why. I just felt like doing it. And sometimes, like I said, that's just how my mind works. I think of something and I decide, oh, I'm going to try that this time. And this is what they look like. We have not tried them yet, but I will let you know if my kids like them or not. And then the rest of the blueberries that I had put aside, I actually put aside 16 cups of blueberries. Do you guys know how many cups of blueberries I had left by the time I started making my blueberry jam? Maybe 9. Yes, that is from 9 little children going through the refrigerator and taking handfuls of blueberries every time they walked by. So instead of getting a decent amount of blueberry jam, I got 4. I got 4 jars because my kids kept going through them and taking handfuls of blueberries. And I'm not just that, not just with the jam, I actually noticed out of the 130 pounds that I bought, I got less in storage this year because of my children taking blueberries without mommy knowing, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm hoping to get some more fruit later on in the season and just add a variety downstairs to our storage. So right now I'm just getting all these jars cleaned off and wiped down, getting the lids and the rings on, and we are going to put them in a pan with some water. I have this little pan here and I just put a rack down and we got those boiling. Now, moving on, this is kind of a quick video, but we did a lot this week. So I wanted to take the kids to Sauter's Village this week. My mom and I bought a family pass together so we could go and spend time together. This is a historical museum, a historical outdoor museum, and it's an interactive museum, and it is so much fun coming to this place. There are even adults love coming to this place and enjoying the rich history and the culture that this place has to offer. And I thought to myself, we were going to be busy the whole month of August, and I wanted to do something with my kids before we got really, really busy with the preservation. And so this is what we did. This is when you first walk in, there's this little circle area here, and it starts off with the first building where it all began, Erie Sauter, and it goes through and it tells you how he got started. It shows you the shop when he was a little boy and the things that he did, the things that he invented, even as a 15-year-old, and how he got this whole thing started. So that was really neat. And you just get to go through and see all the buildings. And a lot of these buildings are some of the original buildings back from the 1800s. And you get to see all the original tools and everything that they used from that time period. Like, for example, this is a cooper shop. I believe that's how you say it. This gentleman here is a professional cooper, and he makes barrels and canteens all out of wood. And you can see all the original tools. They have no updated tools. He uses everything original, and he goes through and he shows people how to go about doing this, what they would have had to have done, and how they did it to make everything work back in that time period. So like I said, it's very interactive. We then took a tour of the museum there at Sauter's, which isn't something that we normally do, but the children had a lot of fun. Plus, it was pretty warm outside, and this place was AC'd, so it was a nice relaxation from the heat that we were walking in. And the kids, again, you get to interact with the things, and there's nobody there watching you, making sure you're not doing anything you're not supposed to be doing. It's very open. It's very relaxed setting. All the workers are just great, phenomenal people. And if you are ever in the area, this is a place that I would definitely, want to take the family and allow the kids to run around and play and explore. Like I said, my children had a great time while we were there, and they really enjoyed seeing all the old stuff. This is a little bit of their Native American section and early settlement section. And they have a lot of, again, the historical antique pieces. And you get to go through and look at everything. You get to read the information about them. And this was an area that my daughter really liked, and some of my kids, because we live right next to a 100-acre plus field. And sometimes the kids will come running inside thinking that they might have found an arrowhead, and they want me to look at it. So when the kids get to see the real artifacts, they get that visual of what it looks like, the time period in which it came from. They get to learn how they were used and what they were used for. And so when they're out there in the fields and they think they find something, they get to think back, oh, what did we learn about it? And then they can think about it and they can compare it. This is a place that I love using for a homeschool field trip day. because again, they learn so much and every day is different. Like you can go to this place multiple times and every time you go, something else sticks out. And so again, this is just something that I decided to do kind of last minute with the kids before we really dove in to that preservation season. And so I hope you guys enjoy the little bit that I'm going to show you, and then we'll get back into the work around the house and some more preservation at the end of this video. All right, we are finding our way back outside into the heat. My children really want to go and ride the train. Peter is leading the way with the map, and we are going to make a few stops on the way through. The Nature Center is another place that we don't ever visit when we've come to Sodders the last couple of years. So I thought, hey, let's go check this place out and see what they are about. And they talk about the different things that Sodders is actually allowed to do per the state. Like, for example, when we first walked in, there was some wild baby ducks. The mom had died, and they went ahead and took the ducks in, and they're going to raise them up, and then they're going to release them back into the wild. They also have a lot of interactive games like this one here. You had to read the information on those pages there, and then they had to take the products and match them with the information that they read on the page. For example, there was a vinyl record, and they learned that vinyl actually came from pig. And so again, they're just going through reading the information and matching everything up with what they've learned. Even little Rebecca had a good time. She loves to do puzzles, and they had a beautiful flower puzzle there, and she was having a lot of fun putting that together. So back outside, Peter's got his map, and we are following him. And he did a very good job reading the map and finding his way around this historical site. And we just had a wonderful time together as a family. And again, we made a few stops on the way. My daughter Mary, she loves horses, and they had a little exhibit here where you got to learn about horses and the parts of the horses, what they eat. They're kind of like the lifestyle of the horse, the things that they were needing to properly be able to take care of them. And so, like I said, we made a few stops on the way to go and find this train. Now, if you're wondering where my big boys are, my 15-year-old and my 13-year-old, I decided to let them roam on their own and go experience things on their own because they are old enough, I felt like, to be able to enjoy themselves. And here is the train station, and the conductor shouted, "All aboard," because the train literally was leaving in like 5 minutes. And so we had gotten there just in time. And this train just takes you on a tour around the outskirts of the village, and he lets you know different fun facts about the village. And this week's, it was the end of summer, and so they did a lot of facts about the original fairs in the county or in the U.S., the different rides, where they came from, and what they represented. This is in the Pioneer District. This lady here was standing in front of the stove because it was very hot. She was getting it going. One of the things that they were making in this house, they were making funnel cakes. And so she kind of showed the kids a little demonstration. They got to feel the heat from the stove, and she got to show them how, in those days, how they would cook, even in the summer, because not everybody used to have a summer kitchen. Some did, some didn't. But she explained the stove, how it worked, and what she was going to be making here in just a minute. Again, they use original items. They don't have the big measuring cups. They don't have all the amenities like what we do. They use all the original things. And I love how everyone even dresses for the part. The next thing we did is we went out to the barn and we got to see the animals, and the lady working there allowed all my kids to milk the goats. Now, we've had goats before. We had Nigerian dwarfs, and so they all knew about milking goats. But for some reason, with children, it's just still fun when you're doing it somewhere else and working with somebody else, or even just the different breed of animal. They really liked these goats. I believe these were the Saanen, if that's how you pronounce it. Saanen goats. And this one goat in one milking will give you a full quart jar. And I really enjoy goat's milk. My kids don't, but I do. I think it's lovely. But anyway, so each of the kids got to take their hand at that. This is another home that we went into. If I remember correctly, she told me that this home, again, original home, was about 175 years old. And all these homes are within our area, Ohio, Indiana, and are the original homes that they have moved to this historical site to make, this interactive history lesson come to life for the children. And the people that are in charge of the different homes are also in charge of planting the gardens for those homes and growing the produce, and then using that produce in their demonstrations within the homes. Like, for example, this lady here, she was in the process of making what was called a shoe fly pie. And we got to hear a little bit of what she was saying.
And you would have just gone right out to work. As soon as the sun was up, you had light. And as soon as you had light, then you could do something. And you could work all day, and that's what you guys did. You would work all day long.
Where's the bedroom?
Oh, I'm going to get to that. You'd work until it was just about dark.
You said 1844?
1844. These are the original bricks right here.
Wow.
So the bricks were put down in Allen County, Indiana, which is where this house is from. And then when they knew that, we were going to take the house and we moved it, we put numbers on all the bricks so we could put them back down in the right spot.
Oh, that is awesome. And this is the outdoor oven that they used. And this is what she was baking that shoe fly pie in. She told the children that you brought it up to temperature and it would hold its temperature for about 4 to 5 hours. And so that was also really neat. And that's how they cooked during the summer to keep their houses cool. They built these outdoor ovens to do all their work in. And so that was really neat. We didn't come back to see the final product of the pie, but other people got to. And so again, it's just a really neat experience. The people here are very nice, very informative, and the children learn a lot. And they actually really like this lifestyle. They think it's so fun, and it's something that they tell me, Mom, we should do something more like this.
Turning that wheel. That wheel is turning that shaft. That shaft is turning that gear. That gear is driving that motor.
So we ended up having to take about a week off from working on this project. It was so hot and so humid. You went outside, went around the yard, you came back in a puddle of sweat. So I told the kids, we are just going to wait on this project. But this last week, my husband was not home. He went on a trip with Revive Ohio over to Wayne County, I believe it was, Ohio, doing outreach street ministry. So I was really wanting to get it done, or at least more done before he got home. So just to kind of surprise him and show him what we did. And this really, yes, it was something I wanted to do, but my daughter, Mary, she really wanted to do it. And so she was very adamant that we got this done before Daddy got home. And so we worked at it. I dug the holes and she planted the flowers, and she actually purchased a lot of these flowers herself. Walmart was having a very great sale in their nursery section there at the store. And that's where a lot of this came from. And then my son, my eldest son, got home from work and he brought me one of my favorite drinks. What a sweetheart. I was so appreciative of that. He still loves his mommy. Even at the age of 18, he still loves his mommy. But anyway, so that was a nice little treat to have on that nice hot day. And yes, if you notice, all the kids are wearing the same clothes. It's because when we got home from Sodders, we decided we took about an hour or so break. And the kids were ready. They're like, yeah, let's go get this done, Mom. And even my eldest son came out to try and help pull weeds a little bit until he realized he was on camera and had to step away. But, excuse me, this is what we were able to get done. We got to go to a place and get some more mulch. We still have a little bit of stone to pull out, but that's all right. So after my husband got home, he got home on a Thursday. The next day, Friday, we went to the city and we were able to get some compost from the city. Our garden was needing it badly. We were getting weeded out. Let's just put it that way. And with that size of garden, and I know it's a pretty small garden compared to a lot of the homesteading channels out here. But like I said, with our current situation, I was very thankful to have what we have because it is producing really well. But we were trying to make it more manageable. And so my husband and I went to the city, gave him a phone call. They met us out here and they started loading up the back of his truck with all this compost. And we are going to take this compost back to the garden and dump it and then get back at it the following week. And if I have some video for that, I'm not sure how much of that I do have, but I will show you guys what we did with it. And while at the garden, my husband and I decided to go through and pick what was ready. And we've got peppers and very large cucumbers because it took us a while before we were able to get back out to the garden. So I decided, well, some of these cucumbers are not going to be good just to eat regular. They just don't have a really good flavor when they're overly big like that. And so I decided to make some sweet pickle relish. I wasn't going to be able to finish it this day because we were also prepping for Shabbat, and so I was just getting it prepped and ready. But hey, you guys, I just want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the time you got to spend with my family. Colossians 3:17 states, "And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him." Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys. Have a great week.